Welcome to the Loose and Moose podcast.
I'm Luce.
And I'm Moose.
Two unlikely best friends that I guess love the sound of their own voice, so decided to hit record. Testing if Luce and Moose are funny in the morning, take 2. It's coffee time. This is number 2 coffee of the day, but the first coffee I had was double shot.
This is also number 2 and by far the hottest.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Molten lava just burnt the fuck out of my face. That's my fault though, because these cups, Yeti cups, are just so
Yeti.
good at, you know, keeping them warm or cool.
Or cool. Listen to this ice.
So.
No, but legit, I
Listen
still
to
don't.
this ice.
I still don't know if we're funny in the morning. I hope so.
My thing of the week this week, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. It's NBA playoffs.
Ah, why did I think that was going to be a roast against me for a second? You were really like gearing it up to be.
Short and sweet. Playoffs are on. My team came up against it's like LeBron James's recording Space Jam 3. We're playing the fucking team of all teams. And we're losing by the smallest margins of all time. And we have a very nice ex-mutual friend that, you know, sends me shit like, oh, hey, give me a call after work. And we won't talk about the game, blah, blah, blah. Hey, if you're a basketball fan, it's a very, 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 very cool time of the year because, yeah, it's just a lot. Do you even care, like, with playoffs? Like, do you even know it's playoffs at the moment?
I know because you've...
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
But
I
if
know right now.
me or EJ didn't say anything, like, you would have no idea on the radar, right?
No.
Like, it doesn't show up in any of your feeds or anything.
No, it's the same as you not knowing about Jojo Siwa.
Yeah. I think playoffs probably be better than
Oh, yeah, probably.
Jar Jar bloody doesn't know Kiss.
No, but I still don't believe that the Nuggets are a real team. Like, what do
They're
you
not.
mean? If they're the Nuggets, like chicken nuggets.
I know I've already told you this. Got a friend that I work with that thinks they are very, very funny. Avid listener of the pod, so Jamie will love this little shout out. But their new thing is in work time, anytime that, you know, any of my sports teams lose, he will then try and use the name of the team that has just bet them in everyday conversations.
You would hate that so much.
I do. But it's so fucking good and I'm so proud of them, but I'm like, I hate it so much. So anyway, we were doing like, I don't know, finding some code word for something that we do at work. And then he just pops out of nowhere, serious face, is like, oh, we could just do the Nuggets. And I'm like, this is as my heart has just been ripped apart. And we lost on the buzzer in game 2. We could have changed the whole series. So anyway, shout out to Jamie and sports are super annoying. So you wouldn't get this pain, right? The other day when we played game 2, it was the first time in years that I've been upset from a sports game. As in like, not like upset, as in like it's derailed my day a little.
Really?
Yeah. Like it was that, and I wasn't even watching it. I was at work. So I was just like keeping up with the scores and stuff and my internet fucked up. And then it went from like even to then like it's finished and I didn't even get to know what happened. And it literally just the next hour or so, like I had to physically try to not let it affect my day.
I mean, I guess that's a good thing. You've had a pretty good run. Like, that's legitimately why I stopped following AFL because I've got so sick of that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, every bloody week. And then legitimately there's, like, memes at the moment about how it's a shit time to be a Crows fan. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Hey, you can't relate with that, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
We're back, baby. Collingwood's back.
Jump ship already.
Anyway, that's...
But no, legit, like, you... I'm sorry, that does suck, but, like, at least you are used to winning.
Yeah. It's been okay.
But no, so sorry. Tell me the law. So playoffs is like the grand final, right?
It's kind of annoying, like for people that don't understand basketball, and it sounds ridiculous to say. So this is only the first round of the playoffs, right? So they finish an 82-game season, and then you go into the first round of the playoffs and say we're playing each other. It's a best out of 7 series to even then advance to the next one, and then you do that again, and then you do that again, and then you get to the grand final. So there's still like months left of the NBA.
So including all the playoff games, how many games are included in the whole season?
So I guess like best out of 7, so you have to win 4 more series. So technically there's still 16 games you have to win on top of the 82 you've played, but you could still play, 28 more games in theory if they all went to 7. It's wild. And it's every second day. Like no wonder they get paid trillions of dollars per game.
Do you like, have you always understood it? Did you just grow up being an NBA fan? Because, like, to me, that's so confusing.
Not, I guess, growing up, I'd only watch games and I love basketball, but I guess it's been more that I'm an adult that I've had, like, you know, NBA League Pass or whatever. So then I'm like, I pay more attention to the whole thing. But it's pretty wild because, like, deeper than that, there's obviously the two conferences. Like, they split America in half and you've got the East and the West. And then there's all the different, because for the playoffs, it's like you're only playing, if you're in the West, you're only playing the West teams. And the East, you're only playing the East teams. The only time that you would play each other is right at the end.
So if there's like two really good teams in the East, then they can't get to the playoff. Like,
and that's the thing now, like in the West, and that's why, you know, Denver, who EJ's follow, like they're the current champs and we're playing them round one.
Oh.
So like you could be playing everyone else and how we're playing, you could be winning games, but we're coming up against like these guys and the West is much stronger than the East. So it's kind of like if you're in the West, which is why people want to get traded and stuff, because you could go get traded to the East. You're like, I can be the GOAT over here.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah.
So your team, the Lakers, lost.
So we're 0-2 at the moment.
But you're
we
not
play again tomorrow.
Out of it.
No. But like in the NBA, you want to, they call it steal home court. You want to steal a game on the road. So you want to win. It always goes like 2 games in Denver, 2 games in LA, and then a game and a game and a game. So you want to win on the road because in the NBA, like home court advantage is like actually huge.
Oh.
And so that's why EJ was up and about and why I was so upset from yesterday's game is because we were winning all game and we literally lost on the buzzer.
That's scary.
And the difference between taking that and not. Anyway, I'm shutting up about basketball. So sports fans, as Lucy would say, if you know, you know.
It was exciting when we went to the gather round and Collingwood were winning all game, and then it was like kind of a boring game when they were winning, to be honest. And then was it Hawthorn, Richmond, one of them, one of the yellow teams? Hawthorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, they like acted like they're
the yellow team. Have you seen the shit going around on the internet and stuff like that? My brother hates it. There's this female commentator that is copying a lot in like my fantasy chat and in just like the culture of footy, but it's like she says shit like that. Like, the yellow team.
It's like the ugly colours.
I love it. It's like, you know, someone that's their job is to like commentate. And I'm sure when you're on national TV and, you know, the pressure that's there's just those things where you're like, you know, you can't just be like, fuck that up, rewind, edit and just go. But it's just like when you said the yellow team, I'm like, I love that so much.
I said I was going to, you know, make the girlies interested.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, that's enough from me in sports because, had to mention it, but it's also frustrating. So what's been going on with you? What's your thing of the week?
My thing of the week is a new little funny saying. So you know the whole pissing in your ear one that we thought was very funny.
Classic.
Someone said another one that's very similar. So someone is like maybe self-sabotaging or, you know, just doing stuff to burn bridges, that kind of vibe. You say, he said he was talking about this person and he's like, yeah, they're just stepping on their own dick.
Again, I heard the other one, but I have not heard that before.
Yeah, and he said it like in the middle of a sentence as well. So he's like, yeah, they're just really doing this and this, and it's just like they're stepping on their own dick, and then just kept going. It was so funny.
I feel like it would probably like morphed from like, it seems like an old person thing where it'd be like stepping your own tail or whatever when we were older, and then someone nowadays is like, nah, let's fuck tail off and change it to dick.
Some bloke is like, it's funny if you say dick.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, so any just bogan or like rude sayings like that, please just reach out because we find them so funny, and I'd never heard that one.
I feel like we spoke about it early on in the pod, but we need to either have like a proper segment where me and you like try and relive what we remember about childhood and reach out to our friends and that and like hit each other with like
maybe next episode.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's episode 20.
Fuck.
Congratulations.
Sometimes we've been doing this for
I know.
A long time.
Feels way longer than 20 weeks.
20
weeks sounds like nothing.
It's nearly half a year.
Oh, yeah.
It's nearly halfway to the goal.
When you put it like that, that is a big deal. But anyway, I have some stats that I've been saving. I read these ages ago, and I wanted to surprise you with them today. What if you take a guess, how many podcasts in the whole entire world do you think there are? $770 million. In a statistic that I found just randomly on the internet, I don't know how real it is, but the stat was done in January 2024. There's over 5 million podcasts.
770.
Yeah, there's not that many podcasts, bro.
Okay, I'm going to edit that back out. 7 million.
So do you know what the number one podcast in Australia is?
In Australia? See, I was just going to say Joe Rogan then. It could still be that.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Correct. The Joe Rogan Experience by Joe Rogan, followed by Huberman Lab.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually listened to that, but I feel like everyone talks about it,
And
so I
I'd
should.
definitely like to see it up and about. It'd have to be one of the murder ones soon as well.
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
out there?
Actually, that's a good point. I would have thought so, but no. Number 3 is The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett, which I've also heard people talk about but never listened to.
Yeah.
Number 4 is one that we're a big fan of.
The Loose and Moose Pod. Are we 4?
Now, what do you think could be number 4 that we've already spoken about being big fans of?
The Mason Cox Show.
Oh,
No. Australian? Or okay. We Mean Well?
no.
No.
Similar vibe.
Abby?
No.
No.
Inspired Unemployed.
Oh, fucking course it is.
Yeah, obviously. And the last one is number 5, The Imperfects. I haven't heard of that
No,
one.
me neither.
Apparently it's number 1. Joe Rogan's also number 1 in the US. Anyway, I just wanted to share some cool stats, and that was some of them. But this is the one that I'm really excited about. So, how many podcasts, percentage-wise, do you think make it past 3 episodes?
It's going to be something small. 25%.
Only 10%.
Fuck.
Out of those
Past
5 million.
3.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Out of those 5 million episodes, a lot of them don't make it past the first. But yeah, 10% make it past episode 3. What about episode 20? That's a really cool milestone. How many people do you think make it past episode 20? What percentage of podcasts?
10.
I just said 10 for episode 3.
I was going to say 10 take. 7. 3%.
Only 1% of podcasts make it to episode 20 and beyond.
Yeah,
So
wow.
us hitting episode 20 puts us in the top 1% of podcasts in the whole entire world.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Isn't that so cool?
I can definitely see why, because it's a lot to do it, right? From
Yeah.
organising to do it. But even, it's weird now for us, it feels part of routine. And I guess shout out to everyone around us, because it's even today, and this is a normal time that we wouldn't be doing this sort of thing. And it's fine to be hey, I need to go record this now.
Yeah.
And, the 4 people at home are yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's part of life now.
Literally, that's what this article says. The reality is most people quit when something doesn't work or instantly show results. Because people ask me how it's going, and I'm like, we're committing to it and it's fun, but stat wise,
Yeah.
I don't know, is 30 listens an episode good?
Yeah.
Well, that's on YouTube, but it's hard to even understand the stats and know if you are successful or not. So I fully I feel like we're special for reaching episode 20. It's
Especially
I understand.
longer form ones, and we're doing it properly. Not many of them would be dropping shorts every day, doing a YouTube version and the audio. It'd be so easy to just do audio versions. A lot of the ones I was listening to, there's a big football one, Collingwood one that I follow, and now they've been around for, I don't know, 3 or 4 seasons, and they also now aren't finding the money to do it visually. They only started last season to do it with cameras, and where they were hiring studios and stuff like that, it's not feasible for them to do it. So now they went back just to audio only, and the quality's not that great. And here's that's them that are literally the main Collingwood podcast. And it's now just going back to yesterday's episode I listened to, they used Zoom audio, and I was kind of that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy. I don't want to sound judgmental, but how are you okay with putting something out there that's not top quality, at that level especially?
But I remember early on when you were oh, let's look at hiring studios and stuff. I'm you're cooked, bro. Like, how could you pay $300 or $400 or whatever it would be to do an episode? Like, it'd just be wild. Like, of course, walking in and not having to set anything up and having like that sort of product would be rad. But, you know, unless you're Joe Rogan and you got sponsorships and that's literally your life, that's probably like the example from mine yesterday. That's why they can't do it. Like, why would they spend out of their own pocket? There's 4 or 5 of them on that pod too. So
yeah, that's
wild. So anyway, it's definitely been fun.
What you're saying is we should start doing the Collingwood podcast from here on.
Hey, if they drop the ball any further, then fucking I'll be mouth guarded. I'll pick that bad boy up, kick it through the big sticks. Yes.
But yeah,
yes.
I heard that stat, like, I think we're at like the episode 3 mark. So I was already thinking, oh, we're in the top 10%, but I didn't want to tell you until we reached 20 because this is our like, this is a cool milestone for us.
Yeah. I was telling someone yesterday, actually, when I knew we were recording today, I'm like, we will hit episode 20.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember us joking like, oh, this season will be like 20 episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I'm not ready enough to like surprise you with some new artwork or overlays or stuff. Because I'm like, once we change that, I want it to like the look to change so that it actually is different. So
I think let's do a full year. As we are.
But no, we should be happy with that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Look at me being all positive.
That's you don't have anything negative to throw to that? No,
we are swaying.
Perfect. That's awesome. I got a question for you, actually. Fuck yes or fuck no for planktonic crushes? Fuck, it's awesome when I'm better at reading the notes than you.
Plantonic?
That's what it's called.
Plantonic.
It's when do you even know what that is?
Do you know what plantonic means?
Do you know what it is? It's my question. So it's when someone's attracted to someone, not sexually, but like otherwisely.
Did you have to Google that?
Yeah. In the car, out the front of you. I'm like, fuck, I've missed that question. Oh, goddamn, it'll be something where she'll be like, do you even know what that is? I'm like, no, because I don't fucking sit on TikTok on my annual leave all day and listen to...
Because I learn the English language from TikTok.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so that was Moose reading the thing I put in our notes about what to talk about. There was a thing I had prepared, and he clearly doesn't know how to read. Well, we already knew that, right?
Good.
Plantonic crushes, hey?
Is that what I said?
Platonic.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Platonic. No, I just like had something happen recently where like I just didn't know how else to explain it other than like I have a friend that like I have a platonic crush on. Like I just want to be their friend. And like, is that embarrassing for like a 32-year-old woman to be like, no, do you want to be my friend? Or is it cute? I don't know.
It is you we're talking about.
So like...
It's normal.
To be embarrassing.
Who's the friend? Let's give him a shout out. Or the future friend, hopefully. We could we close it. Instead of like being your wing person, it's just like your friendship person, wing person. Platonically.
Platonically. No, but like for real, I would have had one on you when we first like wanted to be friends. Like I just have a feeling, I don't know if I'm self-conscious or something where I'm like, oh, I hope they like me. I hope they want to be my friend. I don't know. Like, is that a thing that everybody gets? Or are you just like, you're confident in yourself? You're just like, yeah, obviously they'd want to be my friend.
I think it definitely is a normal thing. Like, I feel like anyone that's like, you know, wanting to become friends with people is because you see things that are, I don't know, inspiring or good, or they just make you feel nice. So you kind of hope that like they feel the same. Yeah. Like if you put yourself out like that. So no, I definitely think it's definitely normal. Okay. Definitely normal. Like I find it with us, you know, if there's someone that I'm telling you about and you will then meet them or vice versa, like obviously we would be telling them about each other. So then you kind of hope that like when you meet that person, they're like, oh, you know, I'm as good as like you're the queen of pumping everyone up. So like you set these expectations for people. And then when they meet you, I'm like, oh, fuck, she's probably said like everything so amazingly. Hopefully I'm somewhere near.
Do you remember that time where I did it with you and it was so awkward?
Which time?
I like had fully told our friend Joe about like he's a dad of 3 kids and you're a dad of 3 kids and like they just have very similar vibes and I thought they would love each other and I had like fully gassed each of you up to each other and then finally it was time to meet and I was like, Joe, this is Moose. I've told you all about him. Moose, this is Joe. Like you guys will get along so well. You're both dads, both got 3 kids, and then both of you were just like, oh, hi. Like, I don't know why.
Like, it's awkward now if we aren't best friends. So do we hug now?
But
What's going on?
you didn't vibe at the start. I don't know why. I don't know. I just ruined it by being awkward.
Yeah. You just build it up too much, man.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy and I love Joe, so it's fine.
Yeah, now you love each other, but because he had to call you up for something and then be like, I get it now, Lucy, like we are fully like very similar people. We're like besties now. And I was like, see, I told you. But like, I don't know. I guess that's my theme of my whole entire life is like, I have no chill. I just need to be chill sometimes. I just need to calm down.
Didn't your mum always tell you that?
Legitimately,
just
my
chill
whole
and
entire
don't
life.
fucking have an annoying laugh. Jesus Christ. She gave you 2 things to do in life.
Yeah, but always, my whole life, mum's always like, calm down, Lucy, it's a bit much. And I'm like, I can't help it, I'm just excited. So, Moose, do you have any tips? Like, first of all, is it normal to have platonic friend crushes on people? And do you have any tips about me trying to keep my cool and not giving people the wrong idea and not being weird and embarrassing and cringe? Or am I too far gone?
Too far gone, because if you're already putting it as like, you've got like, you validated it by giving it a name and stuff. Like, do you think anyone else thinks of it in that space? Like, I had to fucking Google whatever the hell it was. Like, just be normal about it. Just continue to be friends.
Well, you're my friend.
Huh?
You're my friend.
Yeah.
You wanted to be my friend.
Yeah.
Right? You wanted to be my friend, right?
For the non-visual listeners. Don't go on YouTube now.
Have you heard about like people using as like a different kind of word? Like they don't mean it as like you're you. They mean it like slay. Like that's a really good outfit. It's giving. Have you heard that at all?
Not at all, but that's very wild.
Yeah. It's the thing people say, like your outfit's giving. I'm not lying. That's a thing.
That's funny. Also funny because when I was making my coffee for the drive over, sweet Ella was just like, "Dad, is today going to be the one where we do the kids episode?" And the good thing is she can read, so yeah,
like
maybe that title's not going to happen. This coffee's got some extra. Fuck. Please tell me that was your unhinged question, or if not, we have to have an unhinged question after those 2 unhinged questions.
No, this is actually a cute unhinged question. Or maybe not. I don't know with me.
Fucking thought the roller coasters was last episode.
Do you like sometimes want to cry? Or have like really strong emotions when you see old people alone? Or is that just me?
Like context, like just in general.
Like I'll just be at like the grocery shops or out for lunch or something, and if there's an old person alone in public, like I feel like emotional and I want to cry. Is that just me?
I don't know. Like, are you sort of like getting emotional because you're like, oh, they may not have a partner that's alive anymore, or like their family don't talk to them? Like, you thinking the worst for them?
I'm talking like quite old where they are not maybe like moving normally, like they're maybe struggling to do normal things.
Yep.
And then I don't think I have like a actual, structured thought process, but it's something along the lines of like, oh my God, I hope they have someone to help them and like they don't struggle to do everyday things alone. And then am I going to be alone one day and struggling to move? And like, I'm 32 now and sometimes I struggle to do things because it's like sometimes hard to lift things alone. And then when you get older, it gets harder. And then, oh my God, what about my parents? I hope they're not ever going to be alone and old and like not be able to do things. And then what if I'm too busy and I can't help them do things and they don't have each other to help each other? And like, there's so many thoughts. Do you have any of those thoughts?
How do I like ask if you're okay on a podcast first and foremost? And then it's nice that you're thinking like that. Let's flip it. Imagine like if that's them like out having their moment of like, hey, I feel fucking awesome, and yes, I'm old, but I'm gonna go be a fucking badass oldie and get this done.
When you said flip it, I thought you were gonna say like they're thinking that poor 32-year-old lonely girl.
Yeah,
she's
get the
by
fuck
herself.
away from me.
She doesn't even have a partner or anything. What a loser! She doesn't even own a house. I own 10.
Fuck, we went a little dark.
The reason I was asking you about it is because I've always had that. I've always been emotional when I see old people, and there was a TikToker who he's a really old man and he's like blown up on TikTok, and he made like a meme about it where he's just sitting there having his like coffee by himself in the cafe, and then he's imitating all the young people looking at him going, oh, he's by himself, and then he's going back to him being like, leave me the fuck alone, I just want to be alone. And it's so funny.
I'm
You're
in
right.
retirement. This is my years now.
Yeah, like, but when you were saying it before about like flipping it, like, yeah, maybe they are so happy to be alone and they've chosen that.
So from one of our recent cringes of the week that you brought, for one of our friends that was doing the toenail accidental eating.
I'm still not over that. Was that 2 episodes ago?
Yep.
If you haven't listened to that, go back, because that's like one of the worst stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And shout out to their partner. Didn't they get the first mention by
my dear, beautiful best friend Nicole?
Anyway,
she got
they've
her
had a couple
first
of mentions
mention,
since.
and then so did her partner. Ugh.
Anyway, that inspired one of our other friends to hit me up straight after that to say, hey, I definitely have
Another
something.
toenail story.
Not a toenail story, but like the similar sort of cringe
Ugh.
moment. So
Okay.
I'm just going to read this as it was sent to me,
Okay.
and then we can discuss. We
Right.
can discuss. Yep. So anyway, they've sent it to me saying, hey, I forgot to send you my worst gross thing that has ever happened, but relates to what just happened in the previous episode. So, okay, so kind of traumatic, lol. I was getting my nose pierced and the lady was like, okay, lie back. You kind of lay back onto this bed with the person doing the piercing behind your head. And yeah, I was super nervous and said some stupid shit like I usually do. Very similar to you, how she operates.
Yeah.
And she laughed so hard that a booger came flying out. And unfortunately, because I was right underneath her and also laughing, it landed directly at the back of my throat. And I quite literally gagged. Did get the piercing for free though, so there's a bonus, but traumatic. Are you fucking taking the piss?
That literally makes me gag. That's disgusting.
Oh, so Georgia, thank you so much for sending that in. But like, even when I'm reading that, I heard that in person. Like, I'm just picturing that moment. I'm like, how bad for the person doing it? How bad for our friend Georgia? Oh man,
It's making me gag thinking about it.
that's fucked. Hey.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Oh man, that's good.
That, yuck. I hate that so much. That's worse than the toenail. That's so much worse. Ugh,
That's like
yuck.
that is a definition of a cringe of a week. Yeah. Hopefully that inspires some more bullshit. Send them in.
Sorry if that was too much of a dramatic reaction, but that literally makes me feel like I'm going to throw up. That's disgusting.
Because what do? Do you spit it back out? Do you swallow it? And feel like instantly I went to feeling bad for Georgia, but for the person that happened to, like, there's no way in hell they ever tried to do something like that. That's just something where your body's just something like it's just let you down. Your body's just let you down. Right?
Thanks, body. You can't even breathe, right? Oh, can't even keep your bodily fluids contained. You fucking cunt.
Boogers are for tissues, fuckhead, not people's mouths. Oh man, that's a good one.
That surely, like, that's the most embarrassing thing that could happen to you at work.
Yeah, that's it. Last week's episode where we were talking about like embarrassing things.
That pierces just
popping
like,
out one of those.
You get ready for my story.
That'd be a walkout, but you don't ever come back.
Oh,
Anyway, that's a good one. I'm going to give myself a 9 out of 10 for the reading on that. You normally give me a lot of crap.
Yeah,
I'm
proud of
slowed
you.
it down, made it like dramatic.
yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't butcher the delivery at all.
Nah.
Mm.
Hey, 20
growing.
episodes. I'm finally getting the hang of this.
Took
eh?
20 episodes.
Boom. Anyway, I appreciate you sending that in. I'm sorry that it happened to you, but I'm so glad that we all got to hear that. And I can't wait to hear back that reaction of yours. I'll have to turn that down. But if you're wearing headphones, we also apologise.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The kettle laugh came back in. That was nice. This is a reunion episode.
if you can believe it, I don't think my cringe of the week is going to be as cringy as that. Like, it's not going to be the most cringy thing in the whole episode.
That bar has just rose.
Yeah. Like, yeah, honestly.
People will send us stuff now. I'm like, that's not even cringe.
Yeah.
Lucy does that all day, every day. If this is not a booger in a mouth throwing up kind of shit, then don't don't go there. Or is this now going to open floodgates so people are like, oh, now I can mention this?
Yeah, maybe.
They might ask us to change the names.
Yeah, maybe. My cringe of the week. I've definitely told you this before, but it was a while ago. So I want to retell it and see if you remember. But so, or should I not say that? Should I pretend like it's the first?
Just goes first.
Okay. Fuck, how do I? Okay. So, surprise, surprise, it's another cringe that relates to dating because that's how I get on my content, evidently. Side note, someone was telling me the other day about Hinge. I've never been on Hinge before, but I'm wondering if maybe at one point, if we run out of content for the pod, I'll have to start going on dating apps again just for more content.
As in, like, we'll go through it on the pod, have a little segment where we can, like,
yeah, maybe
help choose.
I don't know. You have to. There's like a prompt on Hinge apparently. It's like you can do like voice recordings or like answer specific questions. And apparently there's one where it's what?
I was going to beat you to this because actually like up to date with us a little bit.
Really? How? Why?
That podcast I was talking about before were joking. No, it was a Coxie podcast. They were joking about his because their host does apparently you can like sing your fucking profiles and shit.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was going to say like there's one way you can get a friend to vouch for you. So you could vouch for me on my Hinge profile.
That's so fucking good.
Like I swear guys, she's not cringe at all. She's heaps funny. She's not annoying at all. She always wakes up early.
I just do this for comedy reasons. Like everything we say, it's actually the opposite. I'm that person.
Go watch the Loose and Moose pod. She's the absolute opposite.
We just did it to make her look cooler.
Anyway, so back to my cringe. So years ago, I went with some friends to this like local pub and we used to go there all the time and we always would see like cover musicians there, but never seen this one guy. And as soon as we walked in, everyone was joking like, oh, he's your type, Lucy, like because he had long hair and he's a musician. So there you go.
It's a pretty wide spectrum.
Yeah, I know. It's like so specific. But I think he could tell that we were all looking at him. And I don't know why it was so obvious that it was me. Or unless he just actually thought I was cute. I'm not sure. But he kept looking at me. And I was like to everyone, am I imagining things or is that he looking at me? But they're like, no, he keeps staring at you like during his songs. So obviously I was like swooning because it's a musician with long hair that keeps looking at me. That's the only criteria. You just have to look at me apparently. And then he announced to everyone like that he was doing a Fringe show and to go follow his Instagram. So I was like, I'm going to follow his Instagram. I was like, all right, bet. And then literally for like a whole year, there was just like a back and forth on Instagram stories, but no like proper conversation or anything. So nothing ever happened. And then, I swear it was like almost exactly 1 year later, we went back to the same pub for a different occasion. And I had driven there because it's like near my house and I didn't think I was going to have too many drinks. But then I think I ended up having a few drinks. So I was like I went to go drive home and I sat in the car and I was like, I shouldn't drive home. I feel a little bit like tipsy. But I was like, that's okay. I'll just like chill in my car for a bit and see how I feel. So I was just like, I reckon I was in the car for like an hour. It was like a Sunday night. And I was just like on Instagram, like whatever, having the time of my life. Oh, sorry. Did I mention like the most important thing that he was playing again at this pub? Like I'd definitely been at this pub in between this whole year, but like about a year later, he was playing again. So after our little Instagram story, like flirtatious comments or whatever, I actually saw him again. And I remember walking in and being like, oh my God, he's here. And he had been looking at me again. And so he like kind of like said hi to me like as he was playing, but like in his breaks, what?
Just reminds me of like those movies where like you're seeing that, like he stops and just singing directly to you, but then like in real life it's just like
I know.
Fucking,
in real life,
I'm sure it wasn't though. No, obviously.
Huh?
I'm sure it wasn't like that.
In real life, he's like, "Fuck, this bitch is here again. She's
Security,
stalking me." But no, I swear, like he said hello to me, but then in his breaks between his like sets. As much as you can have like sets as a cover musician, I don't know. But like people kept coming up and talking to him. So I never spoke to him. I was like, I don't want to go interrupt when the other people were talking to him. And then it was like time for us to leave and he was still playing. So I was like, I'm not going to just sit here by myself. So I'm not going to talk to him tonight, whatever. So then, cut to like an hour later, I'm sitting in my car sobering up. And I swear to God, when I pulled up at this pub, I parked in a car park that was empty either side of me. And I swear to God, when I walked in, he was already playing. And I swear to God, when I was sitting in my car, there was a car next to me. And then I'm just like chilling on my phone, on Instagram. And then I look to the left at the passenger window and he was there. He's getting in his car and he's looking at me like, why are you just like in your car sitting next to my car waiting for me?
Stalker alert.
It was so awkward because I was like, I don't know what to fucking say now. And
I'm drunk in my car.
I'm drunk in the back of the car. Taylor Swift reference if you didn't know. Anyway, so I put the window down and I legit, I was like, I swear I'm not stalking you. I was there, this car park was empty when I got here. And he was like, sure. You knew it was my car, didn't you? Like he went with the joke. And then like, I don't know. I didn't know what to say. So I think I asked him like a generic question and then he's like, anyway, I got to go pack up, or what do you call it when you're a musician? Bounce out or...
load out.
Yeah, I don't know. He said whatever that thing is. And then he just drove away and I was like, what the fuck? That was so awkward. But then I think he's actually more awkward than me because turns out then he got in his car and loaded out or whatever and then came back and drove back and drove up next to me again for a chat, but like chatted for like 2 seconds and then drove away again. So it was actually him that's more cringe, maybe. But then it was like a whole thing for like another year after that I was a stalker and like, I'm playing this gig. Are you going to like park next to me again? And I was like, I swear I didn't plan that. Like, how would I know what car you have? I swear.
But if you want me
to. Long story short, he was very cringe. We met up and he's not the vibe. But back in the fantasy of him being really cool and stuff, that was very embarrassing for me.
That's just a typical you cringe of the week story, isn't it? Like
I'm not even phased. No. Honestly, sounds about right. People ask why I can't meet anyone because I just turned it into an accidental and whoa, that sentence, because I turned into an accidental stalker.
Another good album title. Another good title for the episode.
No, but for real, how funny.
That is good. That is good.
Can you imagine the horror? Me sitting there and then like, there's someone at the car next to me. Oh my fucking God, it's him.
Them.
The guy I've been like flirting with on Instagram for a year, but I've never spoken to face to face.
That's fucked. Anyway,
just my emotional shower. It's not that deep, but it's just, I thought, like let's end the 20 episode thing on a high. There's been a couple of times recently where I've been put on the spot to talk in front of a group of people. And I
hate when that happens.
Actually, let's confront Moose again just quickly because it's funny. I've sent Moose 2 separate text messages asking him if the certain thing I said in front of a group of people was good, and he just dogged both text messages. So I know that means it must have been really bad and he doesn't want to tell me, but I don't know why it's so bad because I feel like when I get put on the spot to talk in front of a lot of people, I just black out and I forget what I said and I just sound like a fuckhead. And I thought you could maybe share how you're so confident. If you have any tips for us losers who want to be more confident, is there a method to how you're so confident, or are you just better than us all? You're just born that way?
I've responded to it. Are we talking about the time that you did it recently and then I wrote back being like, it was good, and how good was my alley-oop and blah, blah, blah?
Yes, and then I said, did I make use of your alley-oop?
Oh, and I didn't respond to that one.
And you just didn't respond, so I was like, fuck, I fucked it. I've been thinking this whole time that I ruined my opportunity.
Nah, apologies, I didn't respond. But no, you did great.
Oh, so once again, a lesson. If Moose or anybody doesn't answer you, don't think the worst. Maybe they just didn't respond.
Maybe just ask them the question again.
I did ask twice.
Anyway, No, like I remember being in school and I hated doing oral presentations. Like absolutely. I remember, I still remember now actually, like remember in school where you'd had like a book that the class would read and you had to go around and read chapters and shit?
And you'd be like reading ahead because you'd get anxious that people are going to like...
Is there going to be big words here? Is there going to be like...
Plantonic.
Yeah, plantonic's going to be in here. Funny thing on that, and it's like a joke obviously because obviously I can't talk good. But harassment. I remember like I read a book and for some reason I'd put like a twang on it or something and when I was doing it, it was like harassment. And it became like a thing where I was then getting harassed from all those other fuckers I went to school with.
Ironic. The one that stands out from me from school was she went to say spatula, but she said spatula.
That sounds cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not like it as a kid, and then I guess I got a lot more confidence when I was playing in bands and stuff like that because obviously you know you start playing and just meeting a lot of people. I think like meeting a lot of people, you get better at conversations. But my things for this is like be prepared, which you're probably like, isn't your thing that you always say, like you love doing it when I'm not prepared. Like I have that thing where I'm like, you know, throw me on the spot and I like to challenge myself. But then I'm always kind of somewhat prepared. Right?
To be unprepared though.
Yeah.
There's like a level of preparation that you always do, I guess, maybe.
And what I said, giving you a compliment before, like now that you're getting good at doing it, is like that's the thing. Like people forget about stuff like that. That like yes, it's hard, but then they don't ever do anything about it. Like something like speaking in front of people is a skill, right? So if you think about like everything you do, you just have to do it better, but also like put some thought to it. You know, ask for feedback. You know, look at people that are great. Like we get inspired from a lot of people in our business, where instead of just being like, oh, that person is so inspiring and so good, I'm like, why are they? You know what I mean? Like, what do they do with their hands? What do they, you know?
That's a very good point. And I did ask one of them that we look up to, like, how he's so good. And he's like, I've been doing it like 20 years.
That's like literally their job, right?
Yeah. Sorry, that reminded me. I maybe have my own tip that you haven't mentioned. But the same guy that we look up to, he said recently... he was actually doing a presentation and he said that, you know, everyone is nervous to speak publicly, but everyone in the audience wants you to succeed. Nobody is sitting there like, I hope they fail. Yeah. I hope they cringe. Like everybody is like, oh, I want them to get through this because it would be more cringe to watch them fail. Yeah. So everyone is actually rooting for you, even though when they're all staring at you blankly, you'd think otherwise. Yeah. Why would we think otherwise when we're in the moment? Yeah. Because do you forget that? Like you just get blank stares and you're like, why do they fucking hate me?
But then for them, they're kind of like, oh no, they're looking at me. What do I do? Like you probably don't want to be like, yeah, good job. Or like, you fucked this up. Go faster.
Do you make an effort? I do anytime there's ever any presentation at all in the slightest. I make an effort to like smile and nod as much as I can because I'm like, I feel like I want to help them as much as I can.
I don't know if I've thought about it like that. Like maybe, but not like. But then I'd flip it. I'm like, am I doing that too much? And I'm like, what am I looking like when I'm out there? Yeah. So not on purpose, but probably.
What about just like tips in general for confidence, just everyday confidence? Like, I think that's one of your strengths and your best qualities. Like, I've never seen you in any situation ever where you don't seem confident.
I think for me, like, I'm just very happy with where I'm at as a person. Like obviously over years of being a parent, or if it's work life stuff, like I've put a lot of time into just getting better, and also like I'd never want to stop learning, you know what I mean? So like I go into most situations being like, what am I going to learn from this? So then like I don't know, it just makes me feel like that. And then like, you know, we joke about it, but like we try and be funny, or it's like, you know, I find talking to people very easy. So then like in most situations, like I can trust myself that I can, I don't know, make the most of the situation. Or like, it's funny, like some situations I'll be like overly peacocking, as you'd like to say, but then there's a lot of situations that sometimes I like to also step back a little bit. And then like some people are like, oh, are you feeling okay or whatever today? I'm like sometimes like you don't always have to be the loudest.
So are you saying that you like maybe weren't always this confident and you put work in to become confident? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Like with getting older, I feel like when you're younger, you're always just trying to prove yourself. And then like, I guess all you do there is put pressure on yourself. And then sometimes you just make situations so awkward because you yourself, like you summed up before, no one really wants to have a bad interaction with someone, right?
Yeah.
So I think with confidence with that, and I said it before, but it probably goes back to the band side of things. Initially, where I just had to deal with so many different individuals, where you had to like get good at having conversations.
Yeah.
And then obviously what we do now is 100%, doing that on the and also training people to do that. So yeah.
That's reassuring though, knowing that you weren't always just like this, because I think quite often, I'm sure other people would agree with me, they just think that you're naturally like this. And I'm like, oh, that must be what it's like to have your parents love you and like raise you up all the time. But no, like, yeah, I guess it's like any kind of skill. A confidence is a skill and you need to work on it. Yep. And I do think you've helped me, and I am doing so much better now. Like I used to get so like self-conscious and like feel like I needed to prove myself when I was being challenged in terms of maybe, how do I explain it? Like not knowing enough, not being an expert in anything really. And I used to like maybe pretend I knew more than I did, or just like, fake it till you make it. But now I'm just confident to be like, yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like I'll get you the answer. Like not coming from me. I don't know, because then you actually seem more confident, because if you fake knowing shit that you don't know, then people can see right through it. And I think there was like a few times where I'd kind of got like called out a bit, and I just looked more stupid than if I had have just admitted I didn't know the thing that I needed to know. Yeah,
I love that. I think like that's a sign of strength as a leader too, is like is showing that side. Yeah. Because like you're not perfect at everything, but like that's okay.
Yeah. And like there's no shame in it.
No. The difference is the people that like say that about other people, but then they never even try and get better. Like that's the difference between confidence and not, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Cool. Anyway, if anyone wants to sign up to my Patreon, just hit us up in the comments.
Gary V. who? Anyway, I thought we had to finish it on like an inspirational note, because like I think it's pretty cool that we got to episode 20. I'm inspired by us and motivated by that. So just wanted to remind us of that, I guess. But we have to end it on the cringe. Like this episode was so full of cringe. Please, somebody try and beat that disgusting booger story. Like that's the worst thing I've ever heard. So please drop in the comments and our DMs if you can beat it. If you want to stay anonymous, that's fine as well, because like that was pretty gross.
And we can always just change the names.
Yeah, true. Or if we want to go back to the inspirational side of it, like fuck it. Just own it. Just be confident. Who cares? Even if you are disgusting and cringe and embarrassing, just own it.
So are the rest of us, right?
That's the lesson of today. Clearly it's fine to be cringe, because I'm not doing great. No, I'm doing right. We're to death.
Happy 20 eps.
Happy 20!
Fuck yeah.
Slay.